Well, we said we'd have 5, maybe 10 live streams on George Pickens prior to the NFL draft. And here is episode number 1 on George Pickens. But it's not a controversial one. It's not one where Pickens is running his mouth. He actually seems very clear-headed, pretty calm, and not all that demanding. There's not a sense of any diva in this kid at all right now. We're going to talk about why I'm a little optimistic this thing could start going in a positive direction, but could get derailed by Jerry trying to nickel and dime this kid who earned a bag. It really does come down to that. Right now, his attitude's perfect, but will it change when Jerry says, we're not paying you like a top 5 wide receiver, which Jerry very much could say. We're going to break it all down and more. These are all the quotes coming from George Pickens regarding his contract. And then we're going to draft as well. Promo code Smitty. Hit that link that's in the live the description. Code Smitty gets it done. Play 5, get 75 and bonus entries. But also they'll match your first deposit 50% all the way up to $1,000. We're going to be jumping into a draft after we discuss George Pickens. The Fantasy Football Show Graveyard Edition begins right now.
You're watching a
Graveyard Stream.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
So, according to George Pickens, let me read these quotes. We'll start with the top one. I ain't even thought about that. I just wait on them. That's all I can really do, Pickens said on the idea of getting tagged. He wasn't even mad about the tag idea. He didn't even show a weird expression. He kind of went, I don't know. I'm just waiting. He was smiling. He was happy. He was joking around with Dak and Parsons, who was also there, calling Parsons still a teammate in his mind. And that triggered some Green Bay Packer bloggers and, fake Packer journalists out there. There's so many fake pages out there. Nobody has a journalism degree anymore. No one has a journalism degree. No one has done any sort of radio, has no radio experience. No one has written for a known publication or had a job, an actual job writing for a publication of any sort. They just become media. I'm media, and everybody can apply for licensing and all this stuff, and apply for credentials. Anybody can get credentials and go down to the Super Bowl, go down to the Senior Bowl, go anywhere. It's crazy to me. So we have a lot of people like these Packer blogs everywhere that are saying, oh, Pickens might get traded to the Packers. Oh, my God, did you hear the news? Because he said Micah Parsons walked up because I still think of him as my teammate. They're like, oh, my God, everybody's creating rumors everywhere. Nobody, it's ridiculous. It's embarrassing out there. But when Pickens was talked and asked about the tag from DLLS Sports, credit to them for the interview. I ain't even thought about that. I just wait on them. That's all I can really do, is what he said. And he said, we're really had the number 1 offense in the league. George Pickens replied when talking about how it's really set in, what had happened, what he's accomplished, how things transpired last year, what he feels about it all. He said, this came from Dak Prescott, by the way. Dak Prescott said, obviously, if I need to get involved, I've said before, I will, but confident in Jerry and everybody who makes the decisions of getting George Pickens inked and ready to go for 2026. Now, for those that don't know, George Pickens is a free agent. Now, he can be franchise tagged, of course, and that will most certainly happen, but Pickens is the top wide receiver prospect across everything. Rookies, free agents, trade options. A.J. Brown under contract would be probably number 2 in terms of potential trade prospects. Pickens is also a trade prospect because if he gets tagged, they can trade him. But, it's kind of one of those. Silver, we're in the middle of doing a breaking news show. We're not drafting on the board right yet. We'll get to it. Just relax. We'll get to it, Silver. I appreciate you. But the only reason I'm snapping at you a little bit is because people come in here when we start drafts and they start trying to pry people away from the live stream. That's the only reason I'm snapping at you, Silver. Just relax a little. We'll be getting into a draft in a second. Obviously, Dak says he'll get involved if he needs to. I don't think that's going to necessarily help. If Jerry doesn't want to pay him big boy money, then we're going to have a problem. I ain't even thought about that yet. I just wait on them. That's all I can do. As I said right here, Pickens, I think it's a duplicate. Pickens is just sitting here waiting for Jerry on March 11 is when it all kicks off or whatever. So we are in a holding pattern until that situation kicks off in March. There's not much that can be done right now. But Jerry, I do wonder what his mindset is for how much he's going to pay this kid, George. Because George has earned top 5 wide receiver money. And if anybody says George does not earn top 5 wide receiver money, I got news for you. He finished as the number 5 wide receiver. So to the letter of the law, he exactly deserves top 5 wide receiver money. Look at every name on this list too. It's not like he squeaked in, and he literally was balling as much as anybody in the National Football League. George Pickens finishing as wide receiver 5. He's going to command, I don't even know what, $35 to $40 million per year. You can't pay him 33. You can't even pay him 35. He's going to command what will breach the $38 to $40 million per year type of territory. We're talking about $100 million guaranteed this kid's going to get. And I don't know if Jerry's willing to pay it. I honestly don't. It can seem like rose petals and white doves and everything's hunky-dory right now until Jerry opens his mouth. And George seems pretty laid back right now. If this goes awry, I'm going to blame Jerry because this kid seems like he's level-headed right now. Now, this is a diva-driven character right here that is in dormant mode. He's completely in dormant mode. He was over in Pittsburgh. Now, let's give him a little credit and benefit of the doubt. Being in Pittsburgh, watching them trade for DK, watching them give DK your money, I can understand why he was upset and probably not at his best. Probably speaking out, probably saying things that deserve to be said. Like, I'm an elite player. You're not giving me the ball. I'm an elite player. I deserve a big fat contract. I'm an elite player. I deserve to be the one, not go trade for DK Metcalf. All those things were true. And George Pickens proved them on the field in 2025 for the Dallas Cowboys. So, problem that concerns me is the first words out of Jerry's mouth when talked about the offseason was, we need to prioritize re-signing Javonte Williams. Now, I'm not saying Javonte Williams shouldn't be prioritized or brought back. I also don't know that they have to. I think Javonte, or you bring in Rico Dowdle back for a reunion. I'm not saying that would happen. I'm just merely saying you can bring in, and this is no knock on Javonte, but Pickens is more important than Javonte. If Javonte were to step on the number you're willing to give up for Pickens, you should let Javonte go. And you should do both. You should sign both. But if you had to pick between Pickens as a team, as the Dallas Cowboys organization, between Pickens and Javonte, because you know that this Javonte deal could step in the way from a few extra dollars you're giving to Pickens, do the Pickens deal first. Do the Pickens deal first, then bring Javonte back. They're both free agents. Now, here's the thing you're going to say. Well, you could just tag George Pickens, and if he doesn't want to take reasonable money, then he doesn't want to take reasonable money. That's not the way you approach it. The franchise tag is often referred to as the prison tag to these players because they feel imprisoned and entrapped in a situation where they have no control. They've earned their bag. They don't get their bag. And you could say, oh, boo-hoo, they're getting the top 5 average of the annual salaries. It's not always right where you think it is. It's also based on what was paid last year and the way that contracts are structured. But at the end of the day, this guy, George Pickens, is going to feel like he is now earned and put in good faith to not even request a new extension upon the announcement of the trade from Pittsburgh to Dallas. If you remember, back when that trade happened, he said, you know what? I don't need a new contract. Let me go out and prove myself, and then I'll get paid. And he shut his mouth, which is about as rare as it comes. Not to put too much of that on Pickens and say what a glorious person he is. He was banking on himself and banking on himself to make a lot more money, and he was correct. But usually, 9 times out of 10, when a player gets traded that's near a contract year or they're due money, they almost always get a contract announced in unison with the trade. Why? Because the team that's receiving the player doesn't want to rent a player. They're trading for the player because they believe in the player. So they only will do the deal if the player and team, new receiving team, agrees upon a new contract to allow that player to stay for the long term. Otherwise, why give up the draft capital that's required to execute the trade? But the Dallas Cowboys were stupid in saying, let's give up a lot to get Pickens, generally speaking, in the trade, and let's not sign him to a long-term deal. They should have pushed for that, but they looked at it and said, oh, we'll just try it out. We'll give up draft capital. We'll try it out. And look, it burned him. This kid, in good faith, said, I'll just play. And he played. And damn, did he play. Damn, did he play.
I smell meatloaf.
Let him cook.
Sure did play. Played himself into top 5 wide receiver money, but the thing is Jerry going to back out on the gamble he took? This is like saying, hey, let's go for this $3,500, watch. I'll sell you this Rolex for $3,500, and you say, let's flip it, right? Heads, and it's $3,300 instead of $35, and tails is $37. And you're like, okay, I'll play this game with you. This is what Pickens and Jerry did. Hey, I'll play and not get the extension. And if I get hurt or don't play up to speed, then you're going to pay me accordingly. But if I go and ball out, you got to pay me to the moon. And Jerry said, flip that coin. Jerry lost the coin toss. Well, now it's Jerry's move. Jerry, the ball's in your court. What are you going to do? The problem we're going to have here is if Jerry tags this kid, George Pickens, and Pickens doesn't want to be on the tag, Pickens is going to hold out, and Jerry's not going to pay him anything remotely close to top 5 wide receiver money. We're going to have a holdout on our hands. Holdouts, depending on how long they last, traditionally lead to injury. And that's not something that we want to sign up for. So we're pretty much, I believe, even though this seems like tamed and calm waters right now, we are probably very soon before we're inching toward a disastrous holdout type of situation, and then we'll have to take it as it comes. I wish I had better news, and I'm glad we don't have horrible news, but we are a little bit away from free agency, so there's no real way that deals can be worked out or that we could have any sort of announcement right now. This is going to take some time. March 11, according to March 11, according to Pickens, is when all of this will kick off. And that's what he said. He hasn't had a single conversation with the team regarding his contract, or apparently his agent has. Dial in if you'd like to
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Dial in if you'd like to discuss, and we'll go ahead. Let's jump into a draft while we're discussing it. Go into a big board right now. Link is in the description of the video. Play 5 and get 75, but they'll match your first deposit 50% all the way up to $1,000. So let's jump straight into a draft, a big board. Jump in. If you don't get into the draft that I'm in, don't worry about it. Don't fret. We will definitely we can deploy the same strategy side by side together. So don't fret at all. Phone lines are open. Dial in. Let me get the speaker going because I don't think I've restarted my system yet. And we'll take phone calls and specifically discuss this conversation first and foremost, and then, of course, we'll have other conversations as well. Let's see here. Let me pull up this draft. 7 picks away now. 7 picks away. 6 picks away. This thing kicked off real quickly. Five picks away. Hold on, let me put this on the board, ladies and gentlemen. All right, dial in if you guys have any questions. Man, this draft started quick. 4 picks away. I think this is it. Let me put it on screen here. So I'm in the 9 spot, which honestly, I don't think I've drafted from the 9 very often. So let's see how this goes. I'm either drafting at the very beginning or I'm drafting like 10 or 11 or specifically 12. I'm constantly getting the 12 pick. Let's go over to this screen here. And All right, on the clock, I got Monroe St. Brown. I've got Achane. Let's go St. Brown here. Pretty safe pick. Consistently wide receiver 3, 4. We're not doing running back. All right, here's the...
Call into the show. Call into the show.
I'm excited about the George Pickens saga, and I'm pretty damn excited about the way Pickens has approached this offseason so far. I gotta admit, I'm pretty impressed by his demeanor. Now, I'm partly disappointed I didn't go Achane at this stage because of the options that are here. Drake London, JJ. God, this feels risky, but I'm going to try a JJ draft. We'll try a JJ draft. Man, can you imagine like a year ago, this time a year ago, thinking you could get St. Brown JJ, but flipped? You know, like, oh man, you tell me St. Brown a year from now is going to fall to pick 16? You're like, no, it'll be JJ that falls. Risky, but I don't mind it. I don't mind it. It's kind of a fun risk to take. We'll see if the wide receiver. Let me put this back up, and this will be a wide receiver from the 9 pick, right? This draft will be wide receiver from the 1.9. Would be an interesting stream. I almost took JJ over Bijan at the 1.2. No, you didn't, coach. Stop with the cap. You better not have. Or you aren't following anything we're instructing here, coach. Let me restart the phone line, damn it. All right, now try.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Sorry, I don't think it was working. All right, so for those listening on the audio pod later on Spotify or whatever, or Apple Podcasts, Bijan went 1, then Puka, then Gibbs, then JT, then Jamar Chase, then JSN, then Lamb, then McCaffrey, then St. Brown, then James Cook, then Achane, and then number 12 was Ashton Genty. Number 13, 2.1 was Trey McBride, then Neighbors, then Barkley, then Justin Jefferson. That's my draft slot. I paired up St. Brown and JJ. Let's see if wide receiver is going to fly. Hampton, Love, London, Bowers, Nico, Henry, Pickens, Josh Allen, Rashee Rice at the 3.1. 3.2 is Chase Brown. Now the 3.3 is on the clock. They just took Jacobs. Travis, you're live. You there? Hold on, Travis. Maybe thought I fixed it. Damn it. Hold on. Can you hear me, Travis? You're not coming through. Let me switch back over to the speaker because you're not coming through the... How about now?
Hello?
Yeah, there you go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
So I was gonna say, I think Pickens is awesome, and I give him all the credit for the season he had, and he said how we haven't seen much of the diva.
Yet.
The other side of things,
Yet.
it was really easy for him not to be diva because of the time CeeDee Lamb missed. I'm not saying he would have been a diva had CeeDee Lamb been healthy all year, but that really, it was early in the season. It allowed him to really build a nice chemistry with Dak, and which was good for the team because Dak was equally as comfortable with both of them. But, I mean, he got, a third of his targets, a third of his receptions, almost half his yards, 6 of his touchdowns in the games that CD was out. Not to say he wouldn't have produced, but I'm just saying it was a very smooth path for Pickens, which will benefit him in his, contract. what does happen if things start to get a little iffy.
Yeah. Hey, I agree with you. 1 second, I'm on the clock. St. Brown, JJ, ETN are my first 3 picks on the clock. Garrett Wilson, J-Mo, Colson Loveland, Devontae Adams, Devontae Smith, Trey Henderson, RJ Harvey. Probably could go Hendy here.
I was going to say one of the running backs, or this could be a time to take Loveland.
I think I'm going to wait on Loveland for Fannin. So I'm going to go. So I got ETN and Hendy. I like it. It's a good team.
Yeah, I like that.
I'll probably grab Tootin as well. Yeah, I'll probably grab Tootin as well. All right, go ahead. Yeah, I agree with you. There is definitely something to that. That Pickens could have been a little bit more upset if he didn't get featured a big amount. But the good news is that even if that's kind of in the past, it's kind of paved a relationship between Lamb and Dak that I think he'd be okay if he went through a stretch where they're rotating. I think, he feels like he proved it. He's going to get his bag. If they give him his money, I don't think he's going to be much of a problem for a little while, even if he's not getting the ball. I think he could be a problem if they were losing and he's not getting the ball. But I think, which could happen. But I think he'll be a pretty good team player.
Yeah, my point was more so that
we got lucky.
Things have gone so smoothly that, nothing is really challenged yet to see whether or not he matured, get through, any adversity. Even like when, him and Steve, late, he had his, partner in crime to get punished with, so they could sit on the bench and kind of joke about it. And it wasn't a big thing, but he wasn't alone in that,
Yeah.
So, and again, I'm not criticizing him. I'm just saying, like, it's yet to be seen when these negotiations actually start.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like you hit the nail on the head in just that we got lucky that things went the way they went. But I think because they did, it established a nice foundation for him no matter what. I think Dallas going forward.
If he gets the contract, I'm not worried about it. I'm full go with Pickens.
The one thing I will say, though, is I believe in CeeDee Lamb, and I know a lot of people are a little bit questioning his ability to kind of get back to the top of the top 3 wide receiver territory. But I do also think that it is better for Lamb to not have Pickens there. I think I'm not saying that he can't get back to top 3 still, but it is kind of something that where, like, could you see him more as a St. Brown or Nico Collins moving forward and never again be Puka or Chase or JSN, maybe just because of the volume. But I still think he gets undervalued enough that it's baked in. Like here he went a little high at 7, but I've been seeing him go 8, 9, 10 a lot. And so I'm totally down with that value. If that means Pickens being there and Lamb having 10 overall value versus Pickens not being there, Lamb going 3 overall, they kind of have their pros and cons to both angles. All right, I'm on the clock real quick. Hold on 1 second. Damn, this got thin pretty quick. I guess I'm going to go. Jeez, man, I'm going to time out. I'm going to go DK Metcalf here. It's not like my favorite pick ever, but I still really like McCarthy. And I think that if anything's going to, unlock DK a little bit, it would be McCarthy offense. So I'm feeling like this is a really good third receiver and 5th drafted player at the end of round 5. But I mean, you're talking about Waddle, you're talking about Sutton, you're talking about a bunch of rookies, Rome Dunze, and then the quarterbacks, which there's so many of them, I can just wait until this next pick, if not wait longer. I think it's a good. Now the question is going to be, what do I do here? Tyler Warren and Fannin are both available.
Warren
could go Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow.
You said I was going to say QB.
Let's go Joey B. So Joey B, DK. I'm going to go on up, read it up upward. Joey B, DK, Hendy, ETN, JJ, St. Brown. Strong. That's strong. Mike says, do I think ETN will leave? I don't. He could, but I don't think he will.
So I saw that question. I'm looking over it. I'll let you know in a couple minutes. I'm trying to figure out, because he says he doesn't want to play in cold weather. That was him, right?
Yeah, eliminates a lot of his options.
So
right there.
I'm looking at it. So, okay, Vegas has their running back. New York is off the board. Cardinals would be a team. Would he play for Tennessee? Like, it gets cool. It gets cold there. You know, I don't know what his limit is.
I don't know.
Same with Washington, you know?
Yeah.
How cold are we talking, you know? Like,
yeah. I don't know. It's a great question. And, you know, you start talking about other teams have to have the cap space for you. They have to want to bring you in and pay for a running back. So you eliminate all the cold teams when you probably only have like 5 to 7 landing spots anyway. Then you start really limiting your options. So I don't know that he's going anywhere. And he's such a hometown type of guy. You know, this is a guy that has a tractor, you know, and he's just this is the kind of guy that doesn't want to go anywhere. He doesn't care about money. I mean, he wants his bag, but
yeah,
this is a happy-go-lucky type of guy. He didn't care about that.
So Jags, Cardinals, Saints. Besides that, the only other teams that you could even consider that have an opening and have somewhat warm weather would be Dallas if they don't sign Javonte, Tennessee, and Washington. 7 teams counting the Jags, and that's it.
Yeah.
And it would be smart to keep them, even with heat up this year a little bit. So there's that question. And plus, it's nice to have 2 good backs.
We got 3 people in this draft bully QBing. That's weird. Got a JD5 and Herbert. We've got a Hurts and May, and a Lamar and Josh Allen. That's wild. I haven't seen that in a while. All right, so it's Harold Fannin, Jackson Dart, Kyle Pitts, Tucker Kraft ain't bad here. Kyle Monangai. Pierce. Okay, so I'm gonna have either Kraft.
Yeah, one of those should still be. Unless they rip them all off the board.
Kraft to be pretty solid here. So he took my boy Fannin. I think I'm getting sniped like a bastard in this one.
Yeah, and none of those guys have.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I got sniped. I'm pretty sure whoever's in here are the 3 bully QB guys too. Hey, that's the downside of doing a draft and announcing it is, you know, I'm not gonna be able to pull off what we're talking about. But I like this. I mean, Kraft is still really solid. So I've got my entire lineup minus my flex. So I have St. Brown, Justin Jefferson, Travis Etienne, Trey Henderson, DK Metcalf, Joe Burrow, Tucker Kraft. I'll go. I'm going to go Monangai here. I like Monangai a lot this year. I have a feeling he's going to start like half the games. They could go out and get another running back like Jonah Coleman or Singleton or, you know, something like that. Price, I don't know what Ben's going to do, but if they don't go out and get a big name guy, which I think they will, Monangai is going to be a monster.
I mean, if we were to go out and get another back, that's the Swift goes, right?
They what?
If Chicago were to go out and get another back, they'd have to get rid of Swift, wouldn't they?
No. But
free agency, I mean, no one's going to go.
yeah. I just think they're going to draft somebody. But it might be like a not a crazy, like Monangai was a little out of pocket when they took him. So everyone's like Monangai. So I mean, they could just go a route like that, and we're like, oh, we're not worried about Monangai.
Yeah, Monangai was wicked late, right?
Yeah. But he was a nice prospect right away. It's a good-looking team. St. Brown, JJ, ETN, Henderson, DK, Burrow, Kraft, Monangai. I like it. I felt like I haven't made a bad pick yet. If I wasn't in Snipe City here, I wouldn't have lost Fannin or Tootin. Tootin went way early, and look at all these quarterbacks. You're drafting in a community that has a lot of my people in it. When look at all the quarterbacks. All the quarterbacks. Normal drafts don't have all those quarterbacks gone. It's crazy.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3,
4.
10, 11, 12.
And they have great values this year. Like the guy who took May and Hurts, he was able to build, go 4 guys before he even took.
Mm-hmm. And I don't like his Luther Burden value. I like Luther Burden. I just don't like taking him as a 4th drafted player, in my opinion. Because you don't know if he's going to get featured enough. So, on deck here, should I go Gadsden, even though I already have Kraft because he's injured, or should I take like Wandell or... Let's see.
I mean, either place you're looking at it as hopefully a flex. Depth at the wide receiver.
I went Gadsden because Kraft is coming back from the ACL, so I think either way I have a top 5 tight end.
And Gadsden, we saw it and give you that, 6 for 150.
Yeah.
Which is nice. What do you make of Bo Nix right now? You can wait till your next pick if you want.
I don't know. He already went. I don't know. I think this whole Sean Payton Bo Nix thing is kind of crazy. And there's been a lot of like AI and fabricated extensions of it that never happened, where people are like trying to tell an even crazier story than really went down. But Sean Payton spilled the beans on his surgery history, and Bo wasn't happy about it. And it's like hard to know what's true. Real quickly, Coker, Jennings, or Jonah Coleman? Kind of need a receiver at this point, but
I was going to say, yeah, I'd roll the dice on Coker probably.
Let's do that. I like Coker a lot. Let me go to the super chat real quick. Ray G says, I'm in the 9 slot currently, and CD, JJ, and Josh Allen. Oh, in a different draft. Okay. CD, JJ, Josh. I like that. Ray G, I like that a lot. Nice job. Thank you for the super chat. That's fantastic. I think Josh Allen's an unbelievable grab this year. I don't care if quarterback, is deep. Nice job, Ray G. Jonathan Brooks, no thanks, Slim. I'll let you take him. Tell me how it works out. Slim says, what happened to the running back Carolina drafted from Texas? Forgot his name. Oh, you're just... Okay, Jonathan Brooks. Yeah, he's coming back there. Hopefully he can be ready for football activities, but there's no guarantee. I'm not going near him. I mean, I can't say I haven't drafted him like once or twice in like probably now 50 to 70 best ball drafts that I've done, but it's not somebody I'm targeting. Like when I take him, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have. I see a lot of people taking Kittle, and I just don't know if that's a waste of a pick, guys.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe maybe better in best ball because he could help you at the end or something. I don't know.
gonna say, yeah.
But his ADP's in round number 10, 11 though. That's too early. It'd be one thing to justify keeping him on your bench all year and he comes back and, like, let's say he's 14, 15, starts getting going. If he could even do it. I mean, who knows? He's older. Then I could see, hey, I know I'm going to be my top 2 finisher in my first original grouping of 12, and that's really what it all comes down to. And then, man, you guys are a bunch of snipers, bro. I can't take you guys anywhere. This is ridiculous. Any guy I've ever talked up is just getting snagged like a round and a half early. This is ridiculous.
You just gotta start talking guys up that thing.
Yeah, don't take Jaden Higgins here. Don't do it.
Jarquez Hunter. He's gonna be hard.
Don't do it. Jeez, guys. Come on. Even mentioned Kittle. Even though I was talking bad about him, he went. No, it was about his ADP. So this point, I'm gonna go. I don't love this pick, but I still think Debo in like 11, 12 is in best ball. I don't think I'd even draft him in non-best ball, or it'd be like the very end, like a waiver wire potential rotator. Like I might throw him to the wire right away, but in best ball, I just think where you don't decide who you're starting, I think he could be okay. Maybe I should have taken Dobbs over him though. I probably should have, because Dobbs could land somewhere solid.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm very interested to see where Debo ends up because he didn't get hurt. He missed one game, and I get he's 30 now, but if he goes somewhere where he can be the wide receiver 2 or option, like in best ball, you could put up a couple games.
Yeah, I'd only take him at best ball. I'd definitely only take him at best ball. So my team: St. Brown, JJ. So these are my receivers: St. Brown, JJ, DK Metcalf, Coker, Samuel, and Travis Hunter. My running backs are ETN, Henderson, and Monangai only right now. My quarterback, Joe Burrow. My 2 tight ends are Kraft and Gadsden. Not bad.
I wonder if the Eagles traded AJ Brown if they.
Yeah. Raiders wouldn't be awful. Give like a dynamic.
I mean, Debo was awesome to start the year, first 5 weeks.
Yeah. We thought we really nailed that. And he was good. I mean, he earned his keep at the beginning. He was really good. And that's what you want in best ball. Like, so I'm hoping again, like some kind of rejuvenated Depot, maybe at the end or the beginning. And then
I didn't even realize he ended up with 72%. That was just a brutal one.
Yep. Man, it sucks seeing Charbonnet. I want to take him so bad. Just don't know when he's going to even be back. Or Sharps. Walker going to get paid, though. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Got to be excited
of
about
next
that.
year, you would think he could be.
Who?
Cabernet, like towards the middle of next year.
Yeah. I mean, unless he has a setback or something.
Right. I mean, if Walker can stay healthy, though, he may have a clamp on the job, too, by then. And Kubiak's not there. I don't know how he plays. What their mindset is.
Almost on deck here. Jalen McMillan. Benson or Kamara?
Side or
I just don't know if Kamara's. I know Kamara's getting.
Kamara's safer, I guess.
Yeah, what's he even gonna do?
I mean, they have to bring in,
Of course, Kamara.
their new RB1.
I could say anything. Spears. Don't take Troy Franklin here. No matter who I mention, they're getting snagged right there. Troy Franklin. you gotta be kidding me, man. You gotta be kidding me. Like, really? I could even be joking. Here goes Spears. I could even be joking. You guys are just gonna take him no matter what. Just draft on your own. I mean, really? Jeez.
A bunch of drones drafted.
There's no way. This is really early, but there's no way he's lasting being in this environment. So I have to go Brissett now. I've got no second quarterback, and you guys are. He's like, I think he'd easily make it back and probably around to this 184 or whatever. But just there's no. You look at you guys do with his quarterbacks. You guys are consuming. I say go early quarterback, but good lord, there's nobody left.
I'm probably healthy, and someone would take him. He's probably retiring.
Jeez, man.
Healthy, Joe Mix.
Don't take Malik Willis right here, because I want him on the way back. Watch him. These guys, man. Oh.
Don't take Najee Harris.
You know, it used to be that if there was a money draft, you know, people wouldn't let it influence them too much to be like, oh, I'm just gonna snipe and reach. But now it's like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's a money draft. Doesn't matter if it's mock draft. We start drafting as a group, and you guys just snag whatever player. But Benson, we'll see if Benson's amazing. Ayuk was a steal. I don't know about that, bro. Ayuk's a disaster. Ayuk's a mess. Ayuk's a head case. Who wants Ayuk? You know, will a team take a gamble on him? Probably. They probably will. But he's a disaster. The guy quit football, by the way. So, like, you think he's just locked to come back and play. I mean, he literally could have maybe won a Super Bowl, but he decided he didn't want to play football. That's the guy you want on your team? That's not a guy I want on my team. Guy can kick rocks. All right, here we go. Now I am tempted. And some of these ADPs are a little bit jacked up. And I'm trying to fish for a certain player, and I don't even know if they're gone or not. Okay. Go to Singleton, I guess. Damn it. So Monanga's my 3, Benson my 4, Singleton my 5. Not feeling great. Not feeling great with my running back depth, but it could work out. I feel like this is the kind of running back depth where I could be like sitting there in week 15 and I have one running back and injuries, and so I got to figure out if there's somebody that can tread water. Now Jonathan Brooks is there. You talk about him over and over. I just don't know. Manuel Wilson, Tank Bigsby, Dylan Sampson.
Pickens in a couple just.
I kind of like Emmanuel Wilson. Let's see what happens there. All right, I think I'm.
How do you feel if,
Where am I rumbling?
like the Cardinals took one of these rookie running
What's up,
backs?
Baldy? Which one?
They get Emmett Johnson, Jonah Coleman, Price. How would you feel with,
I don't think I like it.
Connor there?
Yeah, I wouldn't want it. They could wiggle their way to the top, but then that means Benson's wasted. That means Connor's not. They love Connor, man. They're probably giving Connor. Then again, they love Connor. Who loves Connor? The coaching staff's gone, so I don't know.
You must be near the end of this month.
James Conner.
Yeah, this is the last year, so
Yeah,
cap at $2 million, so they could move on.
yeah. They could, you never know.
That would be ideal.
Emmanuel Wilson's contract up. He's no, he's not. He's a restricted free agent, bro. I mean, like his time is not up, and they'll just he's he's a restricted free agent. They'll retain him unless they decided to move on and draft somebody, which they could. But he's not unrestricted, so he's pretty much locked in place.
Keep him and draft somebody.
Yeah, he's locked in.
Jacobs.
I'm gonna grab.
I think Jacobs can go forever, but
I think Jacobs is on his last leg, man. I'm gonna go Parkinson here. All right, so I don't really love a lot of the players available here anyway, so I'm just going to grab a third quarterback. Tua isn't bad. I think he'll be starting somewhere.
yeah, I think he will.
Minnesota or something like that. How do we feel about JJ if Tua is the solution we're all waiting to see? Because clearly it's not what we want, but is it way better? Yeah. But
As long as Tua can be healthy, I'm fine.
is it enough to put JJ right back into the top 3 wide receiver conversation?
I don't know about top 3, but top 5 for me.
In Minnesota, mind you, where Darnold was able to do that. Cousins was able to perform there. Kind of feel like it's possible. Top 3 to 5, yeah. I mean, would I rank? I was gonna say, am I gonna rank him over Chase, JSN, or Puka? No, you're right. It's top 3, but 4 or 5 maybe. I mean, he could get there. Probably.
He would for me. I get. It was 3 years ago now, but like Tyreek Hill tore it up with
Tua.
Now it's a good offense. Kevin O'Connell, good passing.
Hey, chat, vote in the chat if Tua Tagovailoa is the quarterback in Minnesota, does that return JJ to the top 5 wide receivers for you? Vote in the chat. I got 1 vote for yes. I got another yes. I got top 7. I mean, keep in mind, though, like, what do you need for this to happen? You need an offense that can get near the end zone, right? So that's definitely O'Connell. That's fine. And then you need somebody that can throw a lot. And Tua has been in competition many times of being, yardage, leader. So
he was still almost 68%. He'll get the ball. I know that's a flawed stat, and people can argue. Just in general, he can get the ball. Didn't have him throwing much this year either. Like, 27 attempts. He wasn't throwing.
Do you like Lambert Smith this year?
I think either him or Harris be the one to emerge. As long as they don't bring back Keenan Allen.
We're talking about, like, Lambert Smith is literally like 20 receivers down. So if he goes in the next 3 picks, you guys need to stop throwing, drafting for other people. I'm tempted here, grabbing a late dog, but I don't know who else to take here. Flournoy.
Yeah, I mean, they're shots in the dark.
I mean, it's either Keenan Allen or Lambert Smith here. I don't think Keenan Allen's gonna.
I mean,
take a gamble on Lambert Smith. It's a little risky, but
no,
it's a 20 rounder, so you have a little bit of flexibility.
Twenty's nice.
So we got pretty much everybody thinking he's going to return to top 5 to 7. Like, a lot of people said 5, a couple people said 7, but very few people said anything. If even one person, I don't think even one person said later than 7. And you got to think about the fact that a lot of reports that Minnesota didn't really want J.J. McCarthy across the board, right? So, and the fact that it failed, there's no way they're going into it. I'm curious what Sick Nasty truly thinks. Sick Nasty, if you're out there, I really wish you'd call in. I'm not going to argue with you or slam your position. I just really want to hear a pro McCarthy take. But I don't think that this team would even contemplate rolling into next season with McCarthy as a starter. I think he might still be a project that they hope they can work with later if something were to go awry. Like Bryce Young got benched, remember, and then he came back and was real quickly. But or AR5, he's been benched, but they still hold him. They're still wondering. They're still going to try and cultivate him. But I think there's near 0% chance the Vikings take McCarthy into the season as their starter. So what is their alternative? It's Malik Willis, or it's Tua Tagovailoa, or it's Kyler Murray. So JJ's situation will change, and I really think it'll be okay.
Yeah, and trade for Mac Jones. That's another one. Because none of these guys, like you and I were talking about last night, none of these other quarterbacks really profile as like one starter who's going to knock off. That's important.
Yeah. I think it has to change. I think JJ might probably do a little video on this tomorrow. Maybe even a dynasty one tonight.
Yeah.
JJ's it's got to change for him. It has to. Like, JJ might be the best value right now.
I think this is a big year. Playing it out one more year. JJ, I think Burrow is in that territory now too. Would have said Josh Allen before, but I think Allen is loyal to Buffalo. He won't put up. He's going to start getting frustrated. So make the right move. Definitely JJ and Burrow are two that if things go really bad this year, they could be pushing to get out.
Yeah, I don't think either leaves this year, but one of them, and they might be reunited together if things go awry for both of them. The Bengals have zero interest in trading Joe Burrow. The Vikings have zero interest in trading JJ. Next year, they will be asking a very different question, saying to themselves, we don't really want to trade him, but are we winning with him? And so then they will be open-minded to what will then be a upset Joe Burrow, an upset JJ. But yeah, Mac Jones. I'm not saying Kyler's better than JJ McCarthy, but I'm not saying that's the answer. So I'm going to even leave Kyler out, but know that I understand that's an option. Mac Jones, Willis, Tua. I think one of those three quarterbacks has to be the quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings. They have to be. And then tier break Kyler. I mean, Kyler could be saved by the right coach. Would it be that Viking staff? Maybe. More likely than somewhere else, Like Stefanski trying to save Kyler is a zero chance. But Kyler being saved by Steichen or O'Connell or whatever, like that's certainly possible. But is he the fourth option? Absolutely. Mac would be pretty good. Where did he finish last year? Pull that up. I got that right here. Mac was pretty good considering he was QB 30 and he only played 8 games.
Yeah. Speaking what is like, look at the games that Big 12. He profiled out to a almost 4,600 yards and 28 touchdowns.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty damn good,
Yeah.
I like him. And kind of wild when you think about it, right? First of all, a lot of staffs are tied to Shanahan and McVay. But you look at Darnold going over. First of all, Shanahan's always like Kirk Cousins. And then Darnold goes over to Minnesota, succeeds. Mason goes over to Minnesota. I could definitely see Mac Jones going to Minnesota, following that path. It's kind of fitting.
And we've seen Mac be able to feed, like AK saying, he had BJ 2 years ago. AK is quite the receiver in terms of route running and everything.
Yeah.
And Mac's always been that way. If you put good things around him, he'll get the job done. He's not going to pull you out of the hole.
Yeah, you were high on Mac Jones, I think like a year and a half ago or something like that, and I was like, no, but he proved to be a dog in San Francisco. I admit it. He looked good.
Well, I just said what I still say now is you have to give him weapons. You have to surround him with the right stuff. If you don't, it's not going to go well for him. What was that? Which is probably true for quarterbacks in the NFL, I mean.
All right, Travis, I'm out of here. We should probably come back for a Dynasty stream. Kind of almost think we should get into that JJ conversation, but then I also want to do that tomorrow on the main channel.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't want to do that, you could do, if we're doing earlier, we could do, I don't know, did we already do, like, we do Puka, if Stafford leaves, or the Rams? Stafford's not there, I know it's a small chance.
That wouldn't be a bad idea, I guess. I hate doing streams that talk bad about Puka though. Like it pisses me off to even do because then it just but I mean it is a conversation we need to have. I mean if you own Puka in Dynasty and you can trade down to Lamb or JJ or whatever and you can get more somehow, you just kind of need to do it.
I actually have a team that I wanted to ask you about. I'll save it, but where I have Stafford in.
I mean, you kind of have to do it if you can get a lot. If you can't get a lot, then maybe you just take the gamble. But damn, man, I mean, Puka is amazing. He's amazing, but people are acting oblivious to this. If Stafford's gone, and I'm not saying it happens this year, it could still. We're waiting on Stafford's decision. Like, clearly it's a possibility. You know, I one person obliviously in my comments, you know, reply, LOL, Stafford's not retiring. Like, it's how blinded are you by fandom? If you truly think there's not a chance that Stafford steps away because of his wife, who controls a lot of his life, because of his back that kept him out all offseason and he's in pain and his life is going to be different if he plays another year of football. His being comfortable, you know, like in 5 years from now, could definitely be impacted by playing another year of football. Like, there's certainly a possibility he steps away this year. Probably won't. 80% to 90% chance he plays this year, but he's still got a chance of getting injured. And if he gets injured or ages out at the wrong time, you know, or let's just say plays 1 year and then retires after 1 year, what's Puka Nacua? You know, not saying he goes to 0, not saying he goes to wide receiver 12, but he's certainly not wide receiver 1 if Stafford's not in LAR. All right, we'll go over and talk about that, and I'll be back. All right, later, Travis. All right, guys, I'll see you over on the Dynasty channel. If you don't know how to get to the Dynasty channel, the link's in the description. Click it, do it live. Hit the link in the description. It says Dynasty channel. Let me grab it. I'll paste it. Make sure, if you haven't already, you get on over to Underdog, promo code Smitty, and use that link that's in the description of the video if you want to draft with us next time. Shelly says, thank you for all the Pickens info. Well, on that note, Shelly, on that note.
Deck attack. Deck attack. Lamb. Pickens. Lamb. Pickens. Deck attack. Deck attack.
I'm talking about. All right, let me get that link here. Dynasty channel. If anybody wants to get on the Dynasty channel, it is right here. Make sure all of my rumblers are going over there and subscribing. The Rumble, the Dynasty streams are not on Rumble. Let me drop that right now. Thank you, Aldi. Appreciate you being here. Yeah, JJ could be 5 to 7 with Tua, says Aldi. Aldi, there's the link. I'm sure you already have it, obviously. For those watching the replay on Rumble, the Dynasty link is in the description of the Rumble show, as is the channel, the YouTube channel link in the Rumble description. And for those of you on the main YouTube channel right now, click this link right here. That is the Dynasty channel. It's in the description of the video. I'll see you all on the Dynasty channel in about 5 minutes. Thank you, Ray G, for the super chat. See you all over on Dynasty in T-minus 5 minutes. Don't forget to get on over to thefantasyfootballshow.com for your year-round rankings, bold predictions, trade calculators. There's 6 bold predictions up already in the Patreon, that link. Both those links, all these links are in the Rumble description and the main YouTube description. So become a part of the 24/7 live chat group. It's 24/7. Anytime you want to mention anything, people are in there just chatting away. It's awesome. So I'll see you over on the Dynasty channel. Deuce.